So this is what it's like inside the transmitter building, one of about 12 transmitter buildings that are scattered across the state. There you can see the massive copper line, which is part of the transmission line. So if we trace this back to the transmitter, there you can see the connections of the line. You can see where the line narrows. It goes into the corner to something we call a patch bay through this unit here that's called a filter. And then out of the filter, it's a smaller line now, as you can see, and goes down into the transmitter. And here's where it all starts. And this is the heart of a transmitter right here. This unit made by Harris is what a transmitter really looks like. They look a little different than they did in the analog days, but the concept is still much the same, that you're producing a signal to transmit out over the air. Now the roar you hear in the background, there's a lot of noise, and that's because there's constant heating and cooling systems, primarily cooling systems in these buildings, and you have to keep these places cool and clean and down to the proper temperatures. But even if you're doing all of that, you still have the problem of age of equipment. If you look at some of the equipment we have right here, you can even see this one says Windows 2000. We're dealing with older equipment, and if you look up and down this rack of equipment right here, if you scan down just a little bit, we even have equipment here that predates digital. Now, a lot of this went in before 2003. We're still using this, but it's not supported. Difficult to find parts for it. You just go a couple of steps over, and you get to collections of transistors. To the extent you can still find these, they're costing more every day because it's no longer supported. So you have to go in the aftermarket to find equipment like this. And within MPTA, when we can, we share things. If we find out that somebody else has equipment that somebody else needs that's out of life, we share. But when you're looking at equipment that's largely 15 years or older, you can think of it like your home computer. After 5 years, it's probably not being supported. After 15, it gets to be a scavenger hunt to find the equipment if you can. So in order to get the signal from a transmitter building, such as the one we just saw, distributed to other places around the state and secondary transmitters, such as we have near Worthington or near Fergus Falls, you end up in a place like this, a microwave relay center. And here you can see we've got equipment, and again, this is a critical part of the infrastructure, because if we didn't have this, we wouldn't get a signal to Worthington. A lot of the tower sites around MPTA also play a role in public safety, as you can see right here. This property right here, we have the Swift County Sheriff using our site. We rent some space to them, and it's a valuable place for them to help with their regional transmission for their emergency communications. We also have some equipment in our building from the National Weather Service, so that's another way that these sites play a role in emergency communications.